Oh, Judy, there is nothing better than fresh strawberries.
William, I could think of something.
Oh.
Welcome to Garden Time. So William, are you happy now?
Oh, I'm happy now.
We're at Margie's Farm and Garden where they have beautiful plants and flowers, but also fresh picked strawberries.
And on the show today, we're going to give you a recipe on what you can do with those fresh picked strawberries by making a daiquiri.
And also coming up in the show today, we'll be talking about some issues you might be seeing on your roses.
And we're also going to show you some inviting vines.
But coming up first, some very unique Japanese maples. I am on the outskirts of Silverton at a great nursery called the Conifer Kingdom, and I'm with Sam. And so Sam, I see many different kinds of plants here. So what makes up Conifer Kingdom?
Well, Conifer Kingdom says right there in the name that we have conifers, but we also have Japanese maples. That's the other main thing we do. There's sweet gums and ginkgos and styrax, all sorts of different plants, but it's primarily Japanese maples and conifers.
Oh, and we picked out so many wonderful ones. So tell us all about these, and we'll start here.
Okay, this particular variety is Koto no Ito, which translates roughly from Japanese as beautiful harp strings.
Aww.
And it's called that because of these really finely cut leaves. This is called a strap leaf, where the lobes are very deep and narrow. And so it kind of looks like harp strings, and it turns bright yellow in the winter, or in the fall before the leaves fall
Wow,
off.
that is so pretty. I love that texture. And then this one is just stunning. Look at all the different colors on this foliage.
Yeah, this is a new patented variety from the Netherlands. It's called Taylor. And it's hot pink when it first comes out in the spring, and then a little more shade or later in the summer it shows more green. But it's very slow growing. This one's about 6 years old, and shrubby Japanese maple.
Now, because it's so light, should I keep it in more shade or does it need some light?
A little bit of shade is good, but too much shade and you'll start to lose some of that pink. So probably a half day of sun, half day of shade, morning sun would be best.
Oh, it's beautiful. And then this one is just so unique.
This is a batwing maple, so this isn't your traditional Japanese maple. This is what's called a painted maple or batwing maple, and that's because of this deep, these webbing between the lobes on the leaves. And then the painted is the venation that you see here. It's kind of a dappled variegation on there, and when this one first comes out, it's the same color as Taylor there.
Whoa.
And then it becomes more green and white as the season progresses.
Very cool. And then, oh my gosh, look at this one with this gold and red kind of contrast.
This is a favorite of everybody. This is Autumn Moon. It's probably many of the listeners have heard of this before. But this one is brightest orange in the full sun, and the heat of summer really makes it turn on. If you've got it in a little more shade, you get kind of these lime and green tones on the shaded portions of the plant.
So pretty. And before we go further, so for home gardeners, should we be doing something this special this time of year for our Japanese maples, or what do you recommend?
This time of year is ideal to fertilize. We use a slow release nitrogen fertilizer that helps them grow for about 6 months, and then that helps them shut down before the freezes of winter come, because an early freeze can be detrimental to the health of most Japanese maples. So we recommend using that slow release fertilizer at this time of year.
Oh, perfect. And then this one, what an unusual combination too.
Yeah, this one's called Rainbow, and it's a fairly fitting name. If it's in more shade, it too becomes a little more green. But if it's in sun, you've got a mix of purple and burgundy and hot pink colors swirled on the leaves. It's just a really stunning small tree, maybe growing to 5 feet tall.
Oh, that's great. And for containers, because a lot of our viewers are on small properties or just have a patio, so it would be great for a specimen on a patio.
Absolutely. Containers culture is great for Japanese maples. All of our plants are grown in containers here. So.
Excellent. And then this one is quite unique too. What a small kind of globe shape.
Yeah, this variety is called Kurohime, which roughly translates to Black Princess in Japanese. And it is a really dark green color, especially if you've got it in a bit more sun. It's a darker green. And when the first comes out in the spring, it's this peachy orange color all over, and the fall color is a bright orange red.
Wow, wow. And I know this is just a small selection, and on your website you have really a long catalog of all the different species
We do. We have about 200 different varieties of Japanese maples and over 1,000 varieties of conifers as well. And so we sell mostly mail order all over the country through coniferkingdom.com. but we also are open for visits on site if someone wants to schedule an appointment. I'm the sales guy, so just make sure I'm here, and I'm happy to give them a tour and give them a nice illustration of what the best is here. So.
Well, you sound so knowledgeable, man, and there's a lot to know here. So you've heard it from this expert, and so you can go to gardentime.tv and we'll click you over to their website, and you got to come out here or just look at the catalog and see all these beautiful plants. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
This Memorial Day weekend, create an inviting gathering place for family and friends. All of our patio furniture is on sale now. Add impact with colorful pottery, on sale now. Al's Garden and Home in Woodburn, Sherwood, Gresham, and Wilsonville.
Dram is celebrating 75 years of design and manufacturing of quality watering tools. Dram products feature 9 water patterns and are designed to nurture your plants with a shower of rain. Dram for lawn and garden, available at garden centers near you.
Create a beautiful living space both inside and out with the help of Terra Casa.
Outside, you'll find pottery, fountains, and decor to make your garden unforgettable.
And inside, there are home furnishings and just the right accents to make your home warm, inviting, and most importantly, comfortable.
Terra Casa has a huge selection of merchandise to fit any home or budget. Plus, we still have all the unique and distinctive gifts that you have come to expect from Terra Casa.
Terra Casa in downtown Damascus.
Subaru Garden Days returns to Capital Subaru in Salem. Join us for a day of food, fun, and garden excitement. Select garden vendors join William and Judy on the Parkway from 11 to 3. That's Subaru Garden Days, June 2nd at Capital Subaru. Your way on the Parkway. Peonies, bold and beautiful, an old favorite, but ever new, and perfect for your garden. At Adelman Peonies, you'll find hundreds of different peonies. Bush, Ito, and tree peonies covering 20 acres. Come stroll the display garden, then find a special plant or bouquet to take home. Join us any day of the week for beautiful color or weekends for special events. Adelman Peonies is just east of I-5 at exit 263 on Brook Lake Road or online at peonyparadise.com.
Well, this time of year is all about hydrangeas, and I'm at Hydrangeas Plus with Kristen. And Kristen, we always talk about the shrubs, but now we're going to talk about vines. These are so cool.
I know, these are the climbers.
Beautiful.
Oh, and the white lace cap type blooms. They're just starting to open up, and once they do that, they're really fragrant.
Oh, nice,
yes.
Nice.
And it's not overpowering, it's just a nice, pleasant fragrance. And then these will continue to open and even open up the fertile flowers even a little bit more for the next couple weeks.
Ah, and is this a certain species?
Oh yes, this one is called Quail Parthenesis.
Okay.
This was one that Dan Hinckley found in Korea.
Ah, and I know it's pretty tall, so does it take a long time to get, it's got to be about 7-8 foot tall.
Right, and it's been in about 6 years, I'm going to guess, 5 or 6, and we fertilized it well. We kind of stumbled on the fact that once these climbers reach the top of what they're growing on, they will really start to bloom much better.
Okay.
So you can see more of the lateral blooms. I mean, the lateral stems are blooming versus some that are still climbing that don't actually have a bloom yet.
That's a great tip, because I know mine took forever and it didn't do that, so that's why you have to let it grow a little bit.
Yep, let it grow
nice.
and reach the top of something.
Okay, and then
You
you
know,
can
a
just kind
wall.
of cut it up there
Cut
and
it
it'll
and-
push those laterals.
Correct.
And is
It'll-
this a different one? Because
This
it looks
is,
a little different.
it does. It's a smaller leafed one. It's called Brookside Little Leaf, and it's a little bit open, a little more open, very woody stemmed. I actually purchased this as a schizophragma,
Okay.
but I don't
Kinda
know.
cousins. Okay.
It looks too much like the Animala, so I always call it the Animala. But
Okay.
it definitely a littler leaf and a very, very serrated leaf.
Okay. And then do they need something to hang on to, or you have to put a trellis or a string or something?
It does help. They have lateral roots
Okay.
that have small tendrils that we could probably get close up and see one, but they will latch on. This is
Okay.
just a faux concrete wall
Okay.
that we had the retaining wall built, and it's holding its own. I gave it maybe a couple of structures to pull it up and hold it, but other than that, they're almost in full bloom now.
It's beautiful. And then is this another species?
Yes, this is the one that everyone thinks of. This is the Petiolaris.
Okay.
Hydrangea Animala Petiolaris. Has a much more ovate leaf, not as serrated. Again, fragrant, and the bees love them. You can see some of the honeybees and and the other kind of bees.
pollinators.
Different pollinators are all over it.
And you know, I left my sunglasses on because we're out in the sun, so this can take full sun this afternoon.
It is. It's going to be hot. Just get the roots wet, keep them established, keep them wet while they're getting established.
Sure.
And they can take it.
Ah, it is gorgeous. It's a nice way to kind of hide a wall.
Yep, exactly.
Well, you have some other dwarf hydrangeas at another part of the garden, so let's go up there and see them.
Sounds great.
All right. So Kristen, there's so many in this garden, but you want to show just two. So this one is lovely with the stems.
Black stems. This is Kirohumi. It's these are all my Serrata collection here. This one has black stems and a lace cap type bloom. They are pH sensitive.
Oh.
So just like the macrophylla, if you don't like a color, you can change it. So pink means a little more alkaline soil, more on the bluish purple, a little more acidic soil like we have here naturally. Just one of my favorites, a little more upright growing, but could be great in a container.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Well,
maybe
that is
3
good.
feet tall, 3 feet wide.
Nice smaller garden too. And then that one is
Yes.
a lot of booms.
So the reason I think some people don't like the serratas is they're all lace cap. So here's a couple, or I've got a couple, but this is one of my favorites called Mako, which is actually a mop head. I mean, by definition,
Right,
is that
right.
you can't see the fertile flowers inside, and it's opening up just a little earlier than the rest.
And it's a smaller one too, so that's
Correct.
cool.
So another container, but you can still get the fall color.
Nice,
Yes.
nice. And really, this weekend is a really good event for you.
Yes, we're a Cascade Nursery Trail. There's a group of us of 6 member nurseries, and we're all going to be open 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Wow, wow. And you can go to the website.
Yep, cascadenurserytrail.com, and then we each have our own website as well.
And so you can get all of those websites just on Garden Time. We'll click you over and really spend a day hopping around finding all these great little nurseries. Thanks so much. Happy holidays.
Thank you, you too.
Well, I'm delighted to be sitting in the display gardens at Adelman's Peony Gardens, and I'm here with Carol Adelman. And Carol, you know, people can come out and stroll through the gardens and certainly through the fields here, but we wanted to talk about something that really is exciting for you guys that's happening.
Yes, the American Peony Society convention is going to be in Oregon for the second time in the 110 years of the Peony Society.
Wow, not 2 times in a row
No,
either, so
it
this is
was
really a big deal.
2011 and
Wonderful.
2018.
And so people can just wander into this event, or is there something you need to tell us about?
Well, the convention itself is sold out, but the public is welcome to come to the Judge Shout Flower Show. It's at the University Place Hotel in Portland, and Max can drop you right at the door. It's open to the public on Saturday from 1 to 5, and on Sunday from 10 to 4. There's no charge to get into the flower show.
Wonderful. Well, and we should tell you that there is a charge for parking at the hotel. So if you take the Max, you don't even have to pay for that. And then you can see these wonderful, wonderful cut flower examples. For more information, as always, we invite you to go to gardentime.tv, and then we'll click you over to their website too. Thanks, Carol, and congratulations.
Over the 30 years that our family has been in the nursery industry, we've learned that anyone can supply a customer with plants and garden supplies. But it's supplying those plants and supplies backed by a knowledgeable staff that can transform a garden and take it from ordinary to extraordinary. That's what we do at Sagawa Nursery. Why be ordinary when you can be extraordinary? Sagawa Nursery, growing beyond the ordinary.
Since 1982, the Wall has been making local gardens beautiful, naturally. Whether you need a new wall, concrete patio, fire pit, or driveway, the Wall's expert craftsmen can build it. We back up our work with a 5-year warranty, so you'll know it'll last. We use the highest quality materials, including stamped colored concrete, natural stone, and we're the leader in using recycled concrete. Create an outdoor environment you'll enjoy for years, with the help of your friends at The Wall.
Welcome to Blooming Junction, where it's easy to connect with nature. At Blooming Junction, you'll find beautiful, healthy plants, good, fresh food, and a place to regain peace and calm in your life. We have an unsurpassed collection of unique and distinctive plants and the expertise to help any gardener be successful. And we feature Blooming Advantage plants. Come check out Blooming Junction for an inspiring experience in the garden or in the kitchen. Blooming Junction, offering quality plants for beautiful gardens.
2 stages, 25 shows, one sweet weekend. It's the 26th annual Oregon Jamboree presented by Boulder Falls Inn, starring Brett Eldridge, Brantley Gilbert, Maren Morris, Low Cash, Jared Neiman, and Diamond Rio. The Oregon Jamboree happening August 3rd through the 5th. Tickets and camping on sale now at OregonJamboree.com.
This Memorial Day weekend, create an inviting gathering place for family and friends. All of our patio furniture is on sale now. At Impact with colorful pottery on sale now. Al's Garden and Home in Woodburn, Sherwood, Gresham, and Wilsonville.
Well, I'm standing here with Linda Butler, and Linda, it is that time of year when the great fun of garden tours start happening, and we're going to talk today about what I think is one of the best ones, Inviting Vines Tours. Tell me about it.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Inviting Vines is the major fundraising event that the Rogerson Clematis Garden does every year. So when you attend the tour, your $25 goes directly to maintenance of the Rogerson Clematis Collection and Garden. And we are here in one of the gardens that's on the tour this year, and it's the garden of our garden manager at the garden, Nancy Stantoncheck. But we're in her cottage garden, which is in the, what's this called? First edition part of Lake Oswego. And Nancy's neighbors across the street and her next door neighbors are also on the tour.
And that's so convenient because, I mean, literally within walking distance.
The fourth private garden, which has never been opened before, is just 7 minutes from the Rogerson Clematis Collection Garden in Westland.
Yeah.
And that's only if you hit the lights.
Right.
It's 5 minutes if you don't hit the lights.
If you don't hit the lights. So let's talk a little bit about this garden. It's, to me, I get a very kind of a country English feel from it. It's really charming.
Well, she has a little cottage, and you know, Gertrude Jekyll always said, the garden should curtsy to the house. The garden should match the house.
Right.
And Nancy's business is landscape design or garden design and maintenance. And so you can see that there is a designer's eye at work here, even amongst all the cottage garden plants.
In fact, to even prove that more, even though we're in the front yard, we're going to stop here and go back to the backyard and take a look at what's going on about there.
Oh, you won't believe it.
I know. Let's do that. So now, Linda, we have come to the backyard, and I have to say, standing among all these clematis, and you have to forgive me, I'm old school, so I still say clematis.
It really is clematis, William.
It's old habits.
How many times have we done this?
So many times. But man, it is wonderful because you don't only get to see these beautiful vines, but you get to see all of the other things that are mixed so well in with them.
Right, and this is like a microcosm of what Nancy does in the Rogerson Clematis Garden.
Yeah.
But this is very much her garden. So all the roses, all the wonderful ornamental shrubs she has, the gorgeous dogwoods, you know, the woman loves plants.
Yeah, and they blend so perfectly.
Right.
But we shouldn't make people think that this is what each garden is, because each garden is really different on this tour.
Right. The Burke garden is very formal, and the clematis there are few, but they are placed for maximum impact. And then Nancy's next door neighbor, Kip, has an older garden, which is a garden of rooms.
Wow.
So there's a shade garden, there's a kids' play area, there's a beautifully maintained vegetable garden.
And then let's talk about how people can come on this tour. Tell me about that.
Right. They can buy tickets online at rogersonclematiscollection.org. We are selling plants at Lake Oswego 7Ds, Garden Fever, Zero Plants.
So people can go to the website, though, and see all that as well,
right?
Where they can go
We've
get
got
them?
the whole list. And they can also, the morning of the event, after 11 o'clock when the garden's open, they can come to the Rogerson Clematis Garden out at Lusher Farm, and we'll start them off there with their ticket.
Wonderful. And then I'm going to assume that they can go back to those and buy some clematis for their own gardens, can't
We'll
they?
have clematis for sale, so some of the things you see on the tour, you'll be able to come back to the garden and buy.
Well, you know, for $25 to get to see all of these wonderful gardens and get great ideas, and then maybe even go back and get some of the clematis for yourself, I can't think of a better way to spend $25. Linda, it is so delightful. best of luck, and may every garden be beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Garden Time is brought to you by Capital Subaru, your way on the Parkway.
Your car does more than get you where you need to go. It helps you live the life you love. At Capital Subaru, we're 100% dedicated to finding what works for you. And with a wide selection, personalized service, and plenty of perks, you won't need to go anywhere else to find it. Let us help you make the most of your day. Come shop your way on the Parkway.
Adventure is calling. Hurry into Capital Subaru and lease the versatile and fuel-efficient new 2018 Subaru Outback 2.5i CVT, now just $192 per month.
Capital Subaru, your way on the Parkway.
Since 1926, the Bonsai Company has worked with homeowners to make their homes and gardens beautiful. If you have a garden problem, Bonsai has the answer. Captain Jack's Dead Bug Brew controls most common garden insects and is derived from a naturally occurring bacteria to help with your organic gardening. It's safe to use even on fruits and vegetables. Visit Bonsai.com to find a local retailer and to download your free Bonsai Problem Solver app for your iPhone or Droid.
Build a beautiful home inside and out at French Prairie Perennials. Inside, we have just the right creative elements to complete your decor. We offer an oasis of unusual, nature-inspired garden and home gifts and accessories. Outside, choose from our wide selection of unique dwarf conifers and sparkling companion plants. French Prairie Perennials, located between Woodburn and Wilsonville. Take exit 278 to Aurora and French Prairie Perennials.
Are you searching for fun and refreshment? Then look no further than Brew Camp at the Oregon Garden. The best party of the summer features over 40 breweries and over 80 craft beers and ciders. Where else can you experience 3 days of craft beer and wine tasting while camping under the stars? Party with an amazing bunch of bands, surrounded by a glorious 80-acre botanical garden. For more information and to book your camp spot, go to brewcampfest.com.
For over 100 years, Collier Arbor Care and Bartlett Tree Experts have provided tree and shrub care services to the Portland metropolitan area.
From large tree and small shrub pruning, tree removal, and stump grinding, we can handle all your tree care needs.
Our arborists diagnose and treat your toughest insect and disease problems.
We also have organic solutions for growing and maintaining healthy gardens, as well as organic nutrition for your trees and shrubs.
Collier and Bartlett, environmentally friendly since 1907.
Well, I am out here at Margie's Farm and Garden, and we are talking strawberries because you guys actually have some.
Oh, we do. We have lots of beautiful strawberries right now.
Well, we love you for your plants, but boy, we really love you right now because of these wonderful strawberries. So you're going to give us a great idea on how to whip something up with them.
Oh, there's so many great uses for strawberries, but today we are going to learn how to make a strawberry daiquiri.
Well, okay, you bought me for it, so I'm here. So
Okay, great.
Tell me what you do.
So first we're going to make our concentrate with the strawberries. So we're going to add 2 cups of just regular granulated sugar. We're going to add that in to a big bowl.
Okay.
And then we're going to add a 1/4 cup water.
And then the strawberries?
Not quite yet. Not quite yet. We got to make the sweet.
And that's lime juice?
And then a 1/3 cup lime juice. And you can also use fresh limes. It would take about 2 medium limes
to
juice.
Get the juice out of them?
Yeah.
Good.
So you add that all together.
And
then get a scraper, mix it all up. So it's going to be a little thick, but you mix it up good. And then you're going to want to set it aside for about 15 or 20 minutes so that the sugar starts to dissolve.
And of course, through the magic of television, look at this.
Magic of television, we have one all ready to go.
Because this is the second batch we're going to have later, right?
Yeah, this is our later batch. So as you can see, this is a little runnier because of the sugar.
Yeah.
And it's all dissolved. So we'll take that and we'll come over here to our blender.
That's a fancy blender
This
too.
is a really nice blender, yes.
And so you're just draining it
So
right
I'm just
in there.
scraping it all right in there. And then the important part here is the strawberries to make your strawberry daiquiri. So we have 2 quarts of fresh strawberries.
And you just took them and cubed them up,
So
right?
I just washed them, I cut the tops off, put them in quarters. You really don't even have to do that if you have a strong blender.
Right.
Pour them all in the blender. And then you just put the lid
Wow.
on.
And that's all you do to
That's
this
all-
point, right?
That's all you do at this point.
When do you add the rum?
Oh, the rum's not quite yet. This is
Okay.
just the straight concentrate.
And so then you're just going to blend this up.
So we're going to blend this up, and then we're going to put it in the freezer.
All right, let's do it.
So let's start blending.
Okay, so now the puree is done, right?
Yes,
But there's
yes.
another step now.
Yes, this is, we'll take the concentrate. So this is your concentrate.
Uh-huh.
So we'll take it and we'll put it, what I like to do is use these ice cube trays.
Oh my, that's
And
clever.
I just pour it in, fill it up nice, and then I'll cover it with like saran wrap to put it in the freezer. And then it also works good to put it in just a frozen, a container that can go in the freezer.
Right.
When it's all frozen, it's kind of like a sorbet mixture. So then it's easy to just take an ice cream scoop and scoop it right out to use.
And again, through the beauty of television, these are the ones that you already froze with this mixture. And I love that I love this ice cube thing.
It's so easy. It's so easy, and it's easy for anybody to use then. So this was frozen yesterday, so I just, to get it out of the container, I heated it with hot water real quick, and they just pop right out.
Popped them right out.
Yep.
Yeah.
So then when you use them, you can just easily pour in, 4 or 5 cubes, depending on how much you're gonna make,
Right.
how many friends you have over that day. And then you put about a cup of ice in with that.
Yeah.
And then
Now's
here's
the
the good
rum,
part.
right?
Now's the rum. Now's when you're talking about the rum. So I'd put in, maybe about 3 shots.
Yeah.
Depending on how many people you're serving. And then
We're doing the
we
blending
take
again,
the
right?
blender, put it on, and just start blending. So this is when it's nice to have a blender that does ice.
Good. Well, okay, Margie, this is beautiful. It looks delicious, but there's a 7-Up or something like that, and pineapple juice. What's up with that?
Well, for people who don't like to drink
Right,
alcohol or
right.
something, this is one of my kids' favorites. And how I make it for them is I add pineapple juice and 7-Up in it.
So that's when you're blending.
And when I'm blending, so I
Yeah.
take the frozen concentrate, put it in the blender, add a little bit of pineapple juice and 7-Up to taste, and the ice, and it's a fantastic, refreshing treat during the summer.
And a great recipe now for the entire family, too.
Oh, for sure.
So that's
Yeah.
wonderful. Well, we are often out here because we love the beautiful color, the blooms, and the wonderful plants and stuff that we can find out here. And now you can find strawberries because they're available, and then you can take them home, and make these drinks yourself. So for more information on the recipe, go to gardentime.tv. We'll click you over there. You can find out their hours and when you can come and get fresh strawberries for yourself. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Margie.
thank you, William.
I am at the Japanese garden in Washington Park with Andrew Robson. And Andrew, we just witnessed a demonstration of bonsai right here in the garden, and it was fascinating. Can you tell us maybe just a little bit about the interaction with this plant and the people that was watching you?
Yeah, so this is one of my trees, and I brought it up here because it's a very young bonsai. It's a very old tree. It's about 700 years old, but it's only been a bonsai for about 1 year.
Wow.
And so I brought it up here to contrast with some of the other trees here that are more developed, more kind of refined as bonsai. Yeah, and I was just doing a little bit of work on it, doing some deadwood cleanup and preparation on it.
So is it finished? Is it ready to go on display?
This tree is not finished.
Oh.
It has about 10 more years until I'm really going to be happy with it. In bonsai, it's a long game. It's not like painting where something's done in a week. These trees take decades to develop and grow, and so this tree still has a long way. It will get in a pot in a few years once it's a little bit more deserving.
And then when you do demonstrations like this, what are some of the questions people ask?
The number one question that I get asked is how old is it? And these trees vary in age. Size doesn't mean age. I have a tree that's about 5 feet tall that's only 40 years old. This tree is only about a foot tall and it's 700 years old. Yeah.
What do you do when you go on vacation?
When I go on vacation, I get a very, very skilled friend to water for me.
That would be my question.
Yeah.
So Andrew, this just looks like maybe it's not alive. There's a kind of a dead part here, and then it's alive. So is it just one tree?
This is just one tree. This is all what nature gave us. It's about 700 years old, and so this kind of white wood here that's been eroded, beat up in storms, this is all still part of the tree. The part that's living is this orange live vein here, this kind of orangey browny live vein, and that's supporting all this green foliage here. So that's what goes in, gets the roots a lot of nutrients and water, and that's what supports the whole tree.
And you've kind of manipulated this part because you've kind of thinned it out, there's wire on it, so you've kind of been doing your magic to it.
Right, so with these old collected trees, what we do is we pick the best front, we pick the best angle, and then we manipulate the live foliage to complement that. So this here is the front, all bonsai have a front. And the live foliage is manipulated, and this beautiful part that only nature can give us is kind of just displayed.
And then can you do a bonsai out of anything, any kind of plant material?
Right, so this is a Rocky Mountain juniper. It's a tree that they haven't used for bonsai in Japan because they don't have it. But juniper is very common. You can make a bonsai out of any tree species, although certain species work a lot better for bonsai than others. Yeah.
And you're kind of new to this art form too. It's only 10 years?
Only 10 years, so I'm still young, I'm still learning a lot of things. I'm a bonsai apprentice, which means I'm studying bonsai full-time. I'm working with a teacher, and so.
And you know, there is a whole collection here, actually in 2 different spaces at the Japanese garden, so maybe you can tell us a little bit about those collections. Are they always the same, or they change?
So right now we're rotating out the trees. We bring them in seasonally, so right now there's wisterias here. In about another week there's going to be Satsuki azaleas here when they're on bloom. So we're kind of bringing things as they're at their peak and then and bringing things back in and out.
And so say I want to start this hobby, this kind of long-term hobby. Is it pretty easy? Is there information I can go to?
It's easy to start. We're lucky in the Pacific Northwest. We live kind of in the bonsai mecca of the country. The Bonsai Society of Portland has about 400 people. It's a very, very strong club, and they do meetings once a week. And so it's kind of the best place to go and get your hands dirty and learn from people who do this every day. There's lots of stuff online also, and we'll start doing some things at the garden too. Wonderful. So we do these cultural corner talks where we have bonsai workshops in the future. And so if you go on JapaneseGarden.org, there's a lot of upcoming things that are happening.
Well, you heard it here. Really, it's a beautiful place to come, the whole garden, but you have to come see the collections. And maybe you'll get inspired to join the Bonsai Club too. Thanks so much, Andrew.
Thank you.
Garden Time is brought to you by Portland Nursery, a passion for plants, a nursery for plant people.
Hi, I'm Sarah from Portland Nursery. Gardening makes for wonderful family time. Whether it's updating your landscape or planting a veggie garden, at Portland Nursery, our great selection and staff of professionals can help ensure your family's success. Visit portlandnursery.com for a list of our classes, events, or sign up for our newsletter. Portland Nursery, let our family help your family grow at 50th and Stark or 90th and Division.
When you plant your flower baskets and containers this year, consider Black Gold All-Purpose Potting Mix for the best results. This worm castings-enriched, well-drained potting soil has a controlled release fertilizer to feed your plants up to 6 months. Black Gold All-Purpose Potting Mix now contains resilience for enhanced plant growth. Available at garden centers everywhere. For more information, visit blackgold.bz. All the riches of the earth.
Join us for Berries, Brews, and Barbecue, now happening 3 weekends in June, featuring Oregon craft ciders and brews and barbecue. Enjoy barbecue. You pick strawberries, hay rides, live music, and much, much more. It's farm fun for the whole family at French Prairie Gardens. The irises are blooming. The Shriners Iris Display Garden is now open to the public. Surround yourself with a rainbow of color of over 500 irises, or take a stroll in our 10-acre display garden. Smell the fragrance as you see iris paired with other beautiful blooming plants. Check out our cut flower display and pick up something for that iris lover in our gift shop. Take home a cut flower bouquet or order some for your own garden. We're easy to find. Take the Brooks exit off I-5 and follow the signs.
Dram is celebrating 75 years of design and manufacturing of quality watering tools. Dram products feature 9 water patterns and are designed to nurture your plants with a shower of rain. Dram for lawn and garden, available at garden centers near you.
I'm at the beautiful Portland Rose Garden, and I'm with Rachel. And Rachel, you know, we love coming here. We love roses. We love roses in our home, but sometimes there are some problems. So you're going to show us a couple of those. And the first one I really didn't know about is called blind shoot. And so you have some samples here.
Yeah, absolutely. So blind shoots are fairly common, but not as commonly known, like you said. And it's quite literally, it's a terminal shoot that will never produce a bud. And certainly the science isn't completely definite why this happens, but you can certainly see, you how these nice
ones,
buds that are just kind of coming, and a shoot that is basically around the same size, same development, that will never produce a bud.
And so what do we do? Do we just take it out? Do we spray? What can we do to get rid of it, or not, not have it around?
So basically what we're going to do is, I have my Felcos here, so I'm going to actually just deadhead it and prune it off like that. And more than likely it will send out another shoot that will have a bud. And you'll just keep kind of checking, kind of like how you're deadheading. You're going through, you're deadheading your roses.
Sure.
You should also be looking for these blind shoots.
And they say maybe it's because it's a little shadier area. Sometimes some roses are just more apt to have them.
Yeah, certainly there's a lot of factors in just what you said. I certainly see them more on other varieties. It's a lot of weather dependent, and here we are in a more shady location. You think about it, they need all the sun to photosynthesize, so if they're in the shade more, they have less energy to produce the buds, because that's where they put most of their energy development.
Well, we're going to go to another part of the garden and see some other things, so let's go over there.
All right, sounds good.
Now, what is this disease we're looking at?
So this is actually black spot. This is actually the most common fungal disease that roses are susceptible to. And so, it starts out with these little black spots, and eventually it's going to turn into this yellow leaf. And basically any foliage that's infected is eventually going to fall off. So there are multiple things that you can actually do to manage the disease. And you can't really cure it, so the best way to manage it is to prevent it. So you can do multiple things. If you find that, yes, we do have infected leaves, we can just go ahead and take those off. And that way it doesn't spread up the plant, because basically the spores overwinter in the soil, it overwinters in infected stems, infected leaves. And so that will just, when water comes and splashes the spores up, it will just work, it will spread it, yes. So you can actually take away the mulch and add new mulch to kind of, take away any of those overwintering spores. You can, like I said, take off the rose foliage, or, this is kind of crowded in here. So if you kind of want to prune out the middle, add some good air circulation, so that way it doesn't have such like a dense, humid environment where it thrives.
And then what is that what we're going to see on roses this time of year?
Definitely some powdery mildew. And the difference for powdery mildew is actually it'll be attacking more of the top growth and more of the newer succulent shoots at the top. And you'll see kind of like a flowery layer. And so I think the biggest thing you can do actually is to find a resistant variety, because really the best thing to do for it is to spray for it. And certainly you can open up the base of the plant to create some more air circulation. But I find there's just, finding more resistant variety would be the best way to go as far as treating it. I mean, you could spray, but if you don't want to do that, finding the resistant variety.
So those are two of the big diseases for roses. So are there any pests that we should be worried about?
Probably one of the biggest questions I get is, how do I treat my aphids? Because you see them on the new bud, you worry that they're going to infect them. But to be honest, we don't really do too much, because if you have a low enough population, they don't really do too much damage. And that kind of creates a food source for your beneficials. So for your ladybugs, so they come and they can eat, and they'll just keep coming back year after year. Because you have a food source for them.
So if we're concerned about them, we can wash them off with water, or if we're really concerned, we can get some of the sprays that would take care of that.
Yeah, absolutely. You can do multi things. So.
Well, you heard all of these tips to take care of your roses at your home. Rachel's got thousands of roses here at the Rose Garden, a great place to come in June. And if you have any other questions, please go to gardentime.tv. Thanks, Rachel. It looks gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.
So it is Memorial Day weekend, and we wanted to go over some things we call memorial gardens. Now, a memorial garden can be an entire garden, it could be a tree, or it could even be a container on your deck or patio.
You know, a good starting point is to think about the person that you have loved so much. So maybe thinking about their favorite color, or did they love the fragrance of roses? Did they love a lilac? You know, there's a starting point for you to put in the garden.
So we are here at Portland Nursery on Stark Street, and we picked out a few plants that we're going to go over and tell you what their meanings are. Of course, one of the favorites is columbine, which I didn't know this, but it means gentleness.
And daisies, or forms of daisies, mean innocence.
One of my favorite plants is ferns, and they mean several things: peace, acceptance, grace, and gentility.
Geraniums symbolize comfort, and they are so pretty in the summer garden.
The fragrance of honeysuckle also goes with devoted affection and bonds of love.
Another wonderful fragrant plant is lavender, and it is for devotion.
If you're looking for something that reminds you of peace, both olives and thyme do that.
And peonies, they do evoke so many memories, and that is what they're symbolic of.
Of course, this is just a very small selection of plants that have specific meanings.
And you know, memory gardens aren't just limited to plants. You can think of a favorite kind of statue to put into that garden, or even a religious figure.
Also, just by adding a small fountain, you have the sound of water, which is always peaceful. And then if you put in a bench, you can have gentle reflection of those memories.
If your loved one is in a cemetery and you want to bring some kind of plant material, please check with the cemetery office to see what is acceptable and what is not acceptable.
Now remember, Memorial Day weekend isn't the only time you can plant a memorial garden. You can do it any time of the year. For a complete listing of plants with what their meanings are, you can always go to gardentime.tv.
No matter what shade your green thumb is, you can find the plants and the help you need at Wavra Farms. We're filled with an astounding array of colorful plants to fill your garden. In addition to wonderful annuals and perennials, we are known for our hanging baskets. We also have all your garden essentials, and we have great garden gifts too. From beginner to expert, you'll find something new and different with every visit. Wavra Farms, located off Highway 22, Exit 5, east of Salem.
Join us for Berries, Brews, and Barbecue, now happening 3 weekends in June, featuring Oregon craft ciders and brews and barbecue. Enjoy barbecue. You pick strawberries, hay rides, live music, and much, much more. It's farm fun for the whole family at French Prairie Gardens.
The health and beauty of your garden starts from the ground up, and healthy soils begin at Grimm's Fuel. For the best in garden mulch, blended soils, and bark dust, choose Grimm's. U-Haul delivered or installed, Grimm's can do it. And if you're looking for a new lawn, Grimm's can do that too with our special lawn installation service. Grimm's is also the area's largest recycler of yard debris. The foundation for a healthy garden begins at Grimm's Fuel.
See an abundance of clematis, the queen of vines, at the Rogerson Clematis Garden and 4 private gardens in West Lynn and Lake Oswego during this year's Inviting Vines Garden Tour on Saturday, May 26th. Get your tickets at rogersonclematiscollection.org.
Come to where the color is. Come to Egan Gardens. We've worked hard growing healthy plants for you so that your gardening is easy. Add sparkle to your garden with our perennials, container plants, and skillfully designed baskets and planters.
Summer is on its way. Come see us for lots of heat-loving flowers that will look great all summer.
Egan Gardens, where it's all about the plants. We're located west of I-5 at exit 263 on River Road.
Little Baja is your source for a whole lot of terracotta and concrete too. From bird baths and benches to Buddhas, bears, and fountains, plus the exclusive Baja chimney, we have an amazing variety of the finest in terracotta and concrete containers. Come check out our selection of statuary for any garden theme or setting. So for something for the garden, deck, or patio, come see us at Little Baja on East Burnside in Portland. Find us on Facebook too.
I'm down in Corvallis at OSU, and I'm here with Dana Sanchez. How are you, Dana?
I'm great, thanks.
So first of all, tell me, what is your title and position here? What do you do?
I'm here in the Department of Fisheries and Wildlife at OSU. I'm the Extension Wildlife Specialist, and I also do research on mammals.
Well, speaking of research on mammals, we are here to talk to her today about 3 of the things that I think a lot of gardeners probably would think they see often and frustrates them. Tell us what those are.
Well, 3 of the top 3 of the animals that gardeners typically encounter in our area are voles, moles, and pocket gophers.
And we gardeners that love a beautiful lawn or our beds, we have issues with these creatures. So let's do some chatting about, first of all, how we can tell the difference, because that's confused a lot, and then maybe some of the things that we do that aren't really going to make a difference. So let's start with the difference. How do I know? It's a mound of dirt.
Okay. Well, if you have a mound of dirt, I immediately think of either pocket gopher or mole.
Okay.
And what I'd like for you to do is to find a really fresh mound of dirt, and then look where there's a little sunken plug. And if it's in the middle of the mound, it's probably a mole. And if it's to the side, it's probably a gopher.
And that once, like if you take the top though and scrape it off and you see a tunnel, that's really not going to tell you specifically, is it?
That doesn't tell you so much. That helps you find what's called an active run, where they're working right now. And that can be helpful if you do decide to trap or put in a poison bait.
Okay. Well, now what about the voles? Because they confuse me a lot.
Well, voles are about mouse-sized, and they are active both on the surface. You see those little runways and tiny little holes.
And that's never moles? It's always voles?
It's usually voles.
Isn't that weird?
And then they have a whole little subway under the ground as well.
Well, bless their hearts. So now we can get an idea of how to tell the difference. What are some of the things that you have heard that work but just really don't?
Well, I frequently hear, especially for the moles and gophers, sorts of things that make noises or thumpers or sonic things, and then various brands of chewing gum and things like that. I hear a lot of things, but the fact is that there haven't been a whole lot of replicated studies to show any sort of long-term efficacy for those.
Okay. So then if you've tried the old wives' tales, you've tried all the things that you know to do, and you're still not having luck getting them out, what then are some options that work?
Well, I would back up and first make sure that you really have a problem that needs to be treated.
Okay.
If they're active in an area that doesn't count as much, then you might be able to just benefit from what they're doing in terms of bringing the soil nutrients to the surface, helping with runoff, things like that. But if they are in an area that's really high value, then you probably do need to first diagnose who it is, and that tells you how you can treat them.
So almost every day in the garden industry, I hear someone say, gophers and moles, they're eating my bulbs, they're tearing up my flower beds. What is it that they actually eat?
Well, that's where diagnosing from those mounds is really important.
Okay.
For the most part, most moles only eat insects, and things like worms and invertebrates and grubs.
Oh my God, that's
so
a bonus.
A lawn, for example, that has a lot of grubs is like a big dine out.
Okay.
But the largest moles, because of their body size, they do eat some underground plant parts. They might munch on your bulbs, but for the most part, your underground damage is going to be gophers.
Okay. So Dana, if you have one of these lovely little creatures and you want to rid yourself of it, what is the best way of doing that?
Well, with moles, I would recommend a two-pronged approach. First, make your yard or your garden bed less attractive. So sometimes with lawns, that means cutting down the grubs.
Okay.
The other would then be to use a toxicant, so they have poison gummy worms to put in the runs themselves. Then the third option would be body gripping traps, but for that you need to find the active run where they're actually moving.
Okay. Well, I can tell you, Donna, that I've all my life in this industry, I've heard, they're God's little excavators, and I didn't like them anyway. But the things you said, I'd never thought about runoff, stuff like that. So they actually can serve a purpose in the garden for us.
They are. They're actually little eco-engineers. They're bringing soil nutrients to the surface, things like that.
And then I know that people are going to have questions, so you have a smart place that they can actually go to online and ask their questions.
We do, and the OSU Ask an Expert website is pinned to the extension site. The folks can upload pictures or questions, and question wranglers will actually help you find me. If you have a wildlife question, that'll come to me. If you had a horticulture question, it might come to another expert.
Wonderful. Well, Mom, I hate to disappoint you, but the gum is not going to work on the little mounds of dirt in the garden. So you have it from someone who's much more talented than I am at this. So if you have any other questions, you can go to gardentime.tv. We'll click you over to their website where you can look them up and get your answers. You can send in pictures, get a lot of help. Really, Dana, this was delightful. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Subaru Garden Days returns to Capital Subaru in Salem. Join us for a day of food, fun, and garden excitement. Select garden vendors join William and Judy on the Parkway from 11 to 3. That's Subaru Garden Days, June 2nd at Capital Subaru. Your way on the Parkway.
It's the Standard TV and Appliance store-wide sale going on now. Save on hundreds of appliances, mattresses, and 4K Ultra HD TV.
Get a Samsung front-load washer for only $634, a Maytag stainless steel dishwasher for just $499, or a Samsung stainless steel counter-depth French door refrigerator now only $10.99. Plus, get a Beauty Rest Queen mattress for only $3.99.
Hurry! Standard store-wide sale ends Monday. Standard TV and Appliance.
Nestled in the oaks of the Willamette Valley is a nursery that is truly exceptional. At Out in the Garden Nursery, you will find a vast array of shade plants, ornamental grasses, and hardy perennials. Let us help you bring color and texture into your garden. We offer over 100 types of perennials. Many of our plants are evergreen for year-round interest. Plus, we offer the best in personal attention. Out in the Garden Nursery, where we grow great gardens one plant at a time.
Extend your growing season and escape to your own garden retreat in a Solex greenhouse from the Greenhouse Catalog. There is nothing like the taste of a bright, red, juicy, homegrown tomato. The bright, warm, durable design of a Solex greenhouse provides plenty of room to nurture your plants and enjoy your passion for years. Choose from 5 Solex greenhouse models or build your own with Solex panels. For all your gardening, greenhouse, and specialty growing needs, visit greenhousecatalog.com or give us a call.
At Garland Nursery, you'll find
top quality plants,
4 generations of garden know-how,
fun and fantastic garden decor,
and the best in garden supplies.
Come visit us at Garland Nursery.
Since 1937, inspiring beautiful and bountiful gardens.
See an abundance of clematis, the queen of vines, at the Rogerson Clematis Garden and 4 private gardens in West Lynn and Lake Oswego during this year's Inviting Vines Garden Tour on Saturday, May 26th. Get your tickets at rogersonclematiscollection.org.
For the past month or so, we've been watching our producer's new deck being uninstalled, reinstalling, and it is a finished product right now. So I'm with Josh, and Josh, what's the name of your company?
Northwest Outdoor Living and Renovation.
And so you were the contractor that did the demo and completed the project.
That was me.
So what was the install like? Can you tell us about it?
Sure. So this was pretty straightforward. It was just a low ground level deck. There wasn't anything too tricky. We ran into a few things with the siding on the house and some stuff that we had to address so that it was taken care of properly. But for the most part, everything was pretty smooth sailing, nothing too crazy.
Well, I love the detail of the lighting. I think that's so nice because it's kind of a warning that there's a step, but it's really that added kind of interest at nighttime.
Absolutely. So lighting is one of those things. It's a very simple addition to any deck project. There's several different options that you can add, both in flush mount, top of the floor lighting. There's a lot of recessed lighting options. There's post mounted options. So there's a lot of neat things you can do that really dress it up and give character to it.
Yeah, and so, I know that as a homeowner, I can do this myself, maybe, but really to get a professional group in here probably is the best way to go.
Absolutely. Like with anything, there's tricks of the trade that make this go a lot smoother. So if you're the do-it-yourselfer that loves building, with your hands and enjoying that aspect of the project, then by all means go for it. But there's a lot of little simple things, a lot of the tricks of the trade that we've learned through experience and learning, of course, the hard way over the years. So there's a lot of things that that come by using someone that has experience in doing this.
Definitely. Well, it shows because it is very professionally done.
Thank you.
So now we're going to go talk to Derek from Fibron and learn more about the maintenance and more details about that product. Now I'm going to talk with Derek from Fibron. So Derek, the project came out beautiful. It just looks lovely.
Yeah, Josh did a great job, and the finish, the detail, the lighting, and the picture framing came out flawless.
Yeah, that is nice. And so I noticed, and I meant to talk to Josh about this, that I don't see a lot of screw heads. So that's a different kind of an install.
Yeah, so they used our Phantom GT hidden fasteners, and basically there's grooves cut down the side of the board, and these little clips go inside, and they're fastened to the joists, but you are unable to see them from the top of the deck.
It does look so professional. It's just a whole different look than to a regular deck.
Yeah, it is.
Very nice. And so what about maintenance? So what do we do ongoing during the season and then next spring again?
So maintenance is going to be, I would say, low maintenance. You treat it almost like your car. You're just going to wash it. You know, maybe some people do it every week, but I would say as far as the deck goes, maybe quarterly at most. You could take out some dish soap, a hose, and just brush it down with a push broom. And yeah, as far as maintenance, that's going to keep it looking brand new.
That is pretty easy. So we have pretty easy maintenance here, but what if we're in a kind of different climate, different kind of things going on all season?
So if you're in a colder climate and you get snow or ice buildup on your deck, there's two ways you can go about it. One is if you're going to use a shovel, we just recommend using a plastic shovel head. And then you can also use ice melt on your deck, but you're going to use a lower grade that is safe for use on cement. But in the springtime, there may be a slight residue on the deck after everything's thawed out, and then you're just going to do the same push broom, water, and a little dish soap, and it'll look like new again.
Still better than taking care of a wooden deck.
Absolutely.
And then what about a warranty or kind of lifelong of it?
So with our warranty, the basic warranty on it is it's not going to rot, warp, splinter. You're going to see no bending of the boards. But as far as the aesthetic goes, you're going to have a 25-year stain and fade warranty, so it should look the way that it appeared when you first put it down for 25 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then I love the lighting on it. And there are other kind of packages for lighting?
Yeah, so the lighting that we have on it, it's good for not only seeing that you have a step coming up, but it just gives a better look at night. And we've got lighting that goes into our railing, lighting that goes into the riser boards, and lighting that will go on the accent around the deck.
And then railings. Yeah, I forgot about railings. So that's another package we can get.
Yeah, so we've got two different types of railings, really strong, will last a long time, durable, beautiful, and just like with all of our other products, come with a great warranty, and you're gonna have no issue.
Derek, I'm always so surprised that it just looks so much like wood. And I noticed that beforehand, it's the same finish on the top side and the bottom side.
Yeah, so the same finish on top and bottom. So in an application like this, you're not going to be going under the deck, but should you damage something on the top, you could flip a board. But if you have a second story application, when you're looking up, it will appear as though you're looking at the same wood grain pattern on both sides.
Well, you know, Fibron does have a wonderful website. You can see all the different products, the different stains. There's even a place to do designs on it. So it's a lot of fun. It's very interactive. And you can find out the distributors in your area so you can actually go see the products. And also contractors available. So go to gardentime.tv. We'll click you over to that website and have a lot of fun and maybe get a new deck this year. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you.
We want to thank you for watching today, and we want to say thank you to Margie's Farm and Garden for letting us hang out. You know, they have beautiful flowers and plants here and also fresh picked strawberries, so make sure you come out soon to get them.
And we also wanted to remind you that next Saturday, June 2nd, is Subaru Garden Days down in Salem, so put that on your calendar. You know, there's some great vendors there. There's some wonderful food. You might even want to buy a car from Subaru.
So if you really want to know about Subaru Garden Days or about today's show and about this great recipe, please go to gardentime.tv.
We're so glad that we got to spend some time with you today, and we look forward to doing it again next week, not only on Garden Time, but at Subaru Garden Days.
The proceeding was a paid program of the Guston Creative Group and its sponsors.